Hey, hi there to all of my detoxifiers. It's good to have you here today. I wanted to take some time to make this video for you. This is a really important video, especially at the beginning stage of your detox, because there are things that are going to occur through this process. Maybe early on, maybe somewhere in the middle, maybe not towards the end, but there are things that are going to occur that are important for you to be aware of before you get there. And what I'm talking about specifically right now is a healing crisis. So you may have heard of these terms before if you've been in the world of natural medicine, of traditional Chinese medicine, naturopathy, or have done any kind of detox process in the past. You have probably heard the term healing crisis. And although that term sounds like it might be a little bit scary, I am doing this video for you guys so that you can look at it in a different way and not be scared of a healing crisis. Many of our patients actually look forward to a healing crisis. And I've been known to get phone call complaints of people who have not yet had a healing crisis. So, it's kind of like that pregnancy thing, right? You don't have morning sickness and you wonder why and is there something wrong. Everybody's body is going to be a little different and handle these things a little bit differently. But I wanted to make sure that we talk about it because I want you to be prepared for whatever comes your way. Now, of course, there's a lot of information in your book, right? This is your Bible of detox. So there's a lot of information here, and I'm going to touch on some of it directly from the book. But I also wanted to give you a little bit more to think about and to contemplate as you go through your detox and possibly hit 1 or 2 or 3 healing crises. So, that being said, what are we trying to accomplish here? What are we doing in detox anyway? It's a term that is definitely overused in society these days, but listen, it's the best one we have for the process in which we're going through. So what is detox? Detox is the utilization of food and herbs to reverse the process of disease. I want to say that again. We are reversing the process of disease. And if you remember in other videos, we talk about the process of disease, right? About the cells in the blood and the lymphatic system and the congestion of that lymphatic system leading to inflammation, degeneration, and disease in cells. So our process here in detoxification is to reverse that, and that's what we're doing. What is healing crisis? Well, understand that when we detox is not a linear process. We don't go from point A to point B in a straight line. We want to, we would love to, but we don't. Detoxification, healing the body, rejuvenating the body, cleaning up the mess that we have made of our bodies over the years. This is a very winding road. It is a very complicated process, as I said, that doesn't go from point A to point B, but really meanders through the body, where there's going to be ups, which many of you experience those ups in the beginning part of detox. Eating a standard diet, then the first week or 2 of detox is amazing. You have lots of energy, you have clarity of thought, you feel better. But know that there's going to be those dips in the road, those pothills, those speed bumps that slow things down and even sometimes make you feel like you're going in reverse. So healing crises are those tiny dips and bumps in the road. Now, a healing crisis can be both a physical manifestation, like a headache or a skin rash or a body ache, or it can be an emotional manifestation. Anger, irritability, anxiety, worry, tearful, So remember that it's going to be different for each one of you. You might share some similarities, but your experience is your experience. Your past experience everything your body has been through from day one until now is what is going to create your healing crisis. For me personally, it was when I broke my pelvis. Well, it's one of my several weeks into detox, I started to feel some aches and pains in my sacrum, and I thought, where is this coming from? It was tight, it was achy, it was a deep, deep sensation. And then I realized, and I remembered what Dr. Morse said. All of your old injuries, your old ailments, your old problems, or current problems that you're having can come back up or get exacerbated through this process. So I was having a healing crisis where the body was literally going to that old scar tissue and saying, we don't need this, we don't need that, let's clean up this. And so that feeling was a regenerating of tissue, a breakdown and then a regenerating of tissue. But as I said, healing crisis can come in many, many forms. Now, in traditional Chinese medicine, we talk about the meridians, and we talk about how each meridian system, each energy pathway through the body, has a different block of time throughout the day that it is most active and that it is most resting. So some of your healing crisis may come during the time of that specific organ or meridian is the most active. For example, if you have liver issues, you may find yourself waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. In Chinese medicine, that's part of that circadian rhythm of the meridians. So you may wake up at between 1 and 3 a.m. You may be restless, you may be irritable, or you may feel some digestive issues. Know that that's your liver breaking down waste, eliminating waste, and regenerating. So again, these symptoms are going to vary quite a bit. Okay, so we're trying to put the body back into a fully alkaline state. So as we remove those acids are the ones that are going to cause some problems. What other healing crisis symptoms might you have? Well, if you think about those acids and you think about your journey through healing and detoxification, there are 3 avenues out of the body when we are removing acid waste. Number 1, your skin. Number 2, your bowels. And number 3, your kidneys. Not necessarily in any particular order. But when you think about your kidneys, I want you to think about that urinary tract and the acids going out. What might that feel like? Well, that might actually feel like a urinary tract infection. And you may want to run to your local urgent care or your doctor and get some antibiotics. Now look, I'm not telling you don't take antibiotics. What I am telling you is wait, stop, think. Is this truly a urinary tract infection, or might this be a healing crisis? And will we treat them the same or differently? Well, I'm going to tell you we're going to treat them differently. So burning pain, difficulty urinating, frequent urination, all of those symptoms you might feel from a urinary tract infection, if you feel them during your detox, number 1, pick up your book. Look for that in chapter 8. We'll talk about that in a moment. And look to see what it says to do. Now, of course, you can always pick up the phone and call the office. And if you are somewhere else in another country and the times just don't sync up, or we work together through Skype, then please go ahead and send us an email and we'll tell you what to do. So let's hit on the book a little bit so you guys can know how to use this resource, and then we'll get a little bit deeper into your healing crisis. So you'll notice that in chapter 8, that's your whole chapter about how to go through this detox process. You're going to find at page 131 a topic that says physical manifestations of detox. That is your healing crisis. As you go through the pages, you're going to see, around page 135, that there are a list of your most common healing crises. Now, a full list is a few pages into the chapter, but this partial list that I'm talking about is called Healing Crisis, Symptoms, and What to Do. So, for example, digestive changes can be a healing crisis. You can go into diarrhea, very loose stools, frequent bowel movements. Some people might go to the opposite end of the spectrum. They might actually get constipated. How is that possible? I mean, you're eating all of this fibrous, water-filled food, fruits and vegetables. How could you possibly get constipated? Well, what happens to your body when you're eating all of this alkaline food and taking the herbs that we prescribed for you? What happens is you start to move lymphatic congestion, long-standing lymphatic congestion throughout the body. And since it eliminates through the kidneys, the skin, and the colon, well, you might get a little of what I call gridlock. So that means you might get a little backed up. Look at your stomach and bowel formula and increase it. Again, call us in the office if you have questions, but a simple fix for some constipation is to just temporarily increase the amount of capsules you take in your stomach and bowel formula. Now, as I said, there might be diarrhea as well, or even gas or bloating or belching. Underneath the symptoms, you're going to see a section that says, what does this mean? And it's going to explain it to you in detail, much like I just did with the constipation. The next part is going to say, should I stop detox? Now listen, you can stop detox at any time you like. However, if we're talking about really digging in and getting through this, then most cases, I will tell you, don't stop. But you can slow down. You can eat some more cooked vegetables, maybe a sweet potato, maybe steam some vegetables or roast some vegetables. That could slow things down. You can decrease your herbs for a few days. That can slow things down. You know, one of the symptoms that can be common is nausea or vomiting, and we'll tell you the same thing. Go ahead and decrease your herbs for a day or two, no big deal, and eat a little bit more cooked food. The more raw you do, the more fruit you do, the more you're going to have a stronger and stronger detox. So if it's too strong for you in that moment, then please go ahead and back off on your herbs a little bit, eat a little bit more cooked food. And that will slow down just about any detox and, of course, your healing crisis. We don't necessarily want to completely thwart a healing crisis, right? I mean, it's telling us something. It's telling us that the body is doing a big elimination, a big change, a big movement of this lymphatic system. So we don't necessarily want to stop it, but we do want to be able to function in life. And if it's not a situation where you can just lay back and relax and let it ride, maybe you've got to go to work, maybe you've got to take the kids to school, or whatever you're doing in the day, then my advice to you is first follow the book. And if there's a healing crisis that's not listed in this section, please just back off on your herbs and eat a little bit of cooked food. So what are some of the other healing crisis symptoms that you might get? Well, things like a cold or flu symptom. Cold and flu is not what you think it is. It's a virus, yes, but that virus is an assistant to the body, whether you're detoxing or not. Have you ever met someone, or maybe it's you, that never gets a cold, that never catches a flu? And you think, wow, I am so fantastic. I've got a wonderful, wonderful immune system. Think twice. That might not be the full picture. A cold or flu virus is actually a friend of ours. It's uncomfortable, no doubt, but it's a friend of ours. And what I mean by that is a cold virus or a flu virus is a way to prompt the body to clean itself out, to detox. Well, guess what? If we've been eating a standard American diet our whole lives, sometimes that cold or flu virus is just not strong enough to get things moving. So when you're detoxing, and you come across that cold or flu virus from a coworker or one of the kids coming home from school with it, guess what? That's your friend. And we're kind of excited when that happens, though I don't think you will be. But again, what does it feel like? What does it mean? Should I stop detox? And what can I do? It's all in here. As I said earlier, body aches and pains. Remember, I had my old pelvic fracture pain come up. Maybe you had an injury, when you were in college or high school. Maybe you're dealing with arthritis, and now all of a sudden your joints are hurting even more. Don't let that scare you, and don't let that stop you. That's a healing crisis, and this is a good thing. As I mentioned earlier, digestive issues, nausea, vomiting, fevers. Even a fever without cold and flu symptoms can come up. So again, read the book, read that section, call us if you need us, but handle it in a way as to not thwart it. If the fever, for example, gets real high and you feel like, gosh, I've just got to get some rest, you can go ahead and take an aspirin or something. Well, aspirin is the most benign you can take compared to Tylenol or Advil or things like that, unless you have an allergy to aspirin. But you can take that to help you get some rest at night to bring that fever down. Hydration is key. And remember, we're not super big into water unless that water is contained in the fruit you're eating. So watermelon would be fantastic if you have a fever. Any of your juicier fruits, mangoes, peaches, grapes, fantastic for dealing with a fever during a healing crisis. Headaches are another one that are quite common, especially if you tend to deal with headaches. They may get, again, increased during a particular period of time of your detox, or if you've just stopped drinking coffee or come off of chocolate, anything that may trigger a reaction because you are used to the caffeine, maybe soda, you're coming off of soda during detox, you may get a headache. Am I against you taking something to alleviate the discomfort? No, I'm not, but do your best to follow the guidelines in the book and see if you can get through it without medical intervention, but if you have to. Heartburn, low energy. Let me tell you, that's probably the biggest section that I have here in terms of healing crisis. Low energy. When you first start detox, again, if you've been on a SAD diet, your energy is going to start to come up. Then it may plummet again. Why is that? Well, there's several reasons for low energy during detox. Number one, you've cut out your drugs, your coffee, your chocolate, your sodas. Number two, your cells are working really, really hard. Every one of those 100 trillion cells. So the energy will come down. And it's okay. Rest when you can. Go to bed earlier. Take a nap on your lunch break in your car. Do what you've got to do to give yourself some time to regenerate and rejuvenate. Other reasons why energy may get low is adrenaline. So, our adrenal glands, and we'll get into it in more detail in another video, but our adrenal glands are extraordinarily important in so many aspects of the function of this human body. When we are used to eating a great deal of animal protein, you think that you're getting, of course, the protein in that diet. Of course, you think about the minerals you might get from eating that flesh, maybe the iron, maybe the B12, vitamin B12. What you don't realize that you're getting is adrenaline. And simply put, when that animal is going to slaughter, behind a line of other animals that are going to slaughter, and of course the guy at the front of the line who got slaughtered, well, their hearts start pumping, their adrenal glands start secreting adrenaline, and that puts them in a state of fight or flight. It's a pretty horrible thing. That adrenaline starts pumping through the bloodstream, which increases heart rate, breathing, respirations, blood pressure, all of those things that adrenaline does to all of us, humans and animals. Well, that adrenaline gets dumped into the meat through the bloodstream. It doesn't have time to break down before that animal is slaughtered. And then you eat it. So not only do you get adrenaline, or I'm sorry, protein, not the best as we know, from that animal, but you're also getting adrenaline. That adrenaline is not real energy. Just like the coffee in your cup is not real energy, or the chocolate bar in the afternoon is not real energy. That is fake energy. That is an adrenal rush. It's the same as me putting a gun to your head. You may not feel like running 10 miles at 3 a.m. if I tap you on the shoulder and ask you to do it. But boy, if I show up with a gun, you're running 11 miles. So, the lack of adrenaline in the diet will cause low energy. Remember, your healing crisis is all temporary. This is not a forever thing. It's not even forever through your detox. It may come for a day, it may come for an hour, it may come and go. You may have something that lasts a week or two. It's really dependent on your body and your history. Skin issues is another common healing crisis. Anything from swelling, itching, skin rashes, abscesses, acne, boils. All of these things are common because what is the skin? It's an eliminative organ, right? Kidneys, colon, and skin, it's where the waste goes. So the body is willing to push it out anywhere it can, especially when we give it permission. And we give the body permission to eliminate waste when we are detoxing, when we are fully alkalizing, and when we're using herbs to move lymph and support organs of elimination. Now, something that some people love and a few others get nervous about, and that is weight loss. We'll get into a video about weight loss. But those of you who are a pretty good weight, you're happy, you're satisfied with your weight, and you start to lose weight, you tend to get nervous. I know, those of you who want to lose weight are saying some things under your breath right now about those people, but hey, be nice. The truth of the matter is, you're going to lose weight during detox. And if you feel like you're already at your optimal weight and you don't want to lose, guess what? You're going to lose weight. It's okay. When you feed the body a diet that is natural to that specific species, we happen to be human, so when we're feeding this beautiful, loaded fruit and vegetable diet, the body is going to break down waste and eliminate it. It's going to break down fat and eliminate it. But don't worry. You can actually remain on this same diet, on this detox diet, and gain weight back. Whatever your optimal weight is, your body will know, and it will put you there eventually through your process. But know that we do list that in here as well. By the time we get to page 151, we've got just a bullet point list of mild cleansing effects, which includes some of the things I just spoke about. Also mucus in the eyes, minor blurry vision, maybe coughing. Then we've got some moderate cleansing effects. Symptoms of bronchitis or pneumonia, chronic fatigue, some nosebleeds, some spasms. Any of these things, again, I don't want you to worry about or be fearful of, but of course, feel free to give us a call and we'll help you through them. And then, of course, there's some strong cleansing effects. So make sure you read this section. Make sure you're comfortable with the fact that there's going to be a healing crisis down the road. And by the way, also make sure that you're comfortable with the fact that you may not get one for a while. Don't think your body isn't detoxing, though. It is. Okay, I think that's good. I think we've got healing crisis covered. So please make sure you utilize this book to its full extent. Chapter 8 is where you're going to find healing crisis. along with your whole process of detoxification. I look forward to hearing your progress and seeing you come out on the other end happy, well, and healed. See you soon. There goes the dog barking. Have a good day. Bye.